All right, before I get into our interview this hour, I want to take you to Nyeri County, where the hearing of an appeal, a case challenging the dismissal of a case in which the election of Laikipia Governor Mureithi was upheld by a high court is going on as we speak. Remember, this hearing had failed to take place on the 13th of June as one of the judges set to hear the appeal was unavailable due to a bereavement. Samin Dongo Waiti is the one who has moved to the Court of Appeal, to this Court of Appeal, to challenge the High Court ruling that upheld Governor Mureithi Nderito's election as Laikipia Governor. Let us listen in briefly.
It's also clear on how you appeal interlocutory proceedings or interlocutory decisions. It is again by way of filing notices of appeal upon determination or upon delivering of those decisions and taking up the matter later. 90%, if I dare say, of the grounds in the memorandum of appeal are founded on interlocutory applications that were determined by the court, by the High Court. And by virtue of lack of proper notices, or any notices for that matter having been filed, the consequence is that those grounds fail. And consequently, therefore, we submit that grounds of appeal in the memorandum, that's ground number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8, number 9, number 10, number 11, number 13, number 14, number 15, number 16, number 17, number 18, number 19, and lastly, number 23, fail by virtue of lack of notices of appeal having been filed. My Lord, I move on to another issue. My Lord, in matters of evidence, this court does not have jurisdiction to deal with issues of fact. Therefore, any ground that is factual in nature or submission that brings to this court the need to interrogate issues of fact will as a consequence fail. Be that as it may, my Lord, my lady, the burden of proof in election petitions is on the petitioner. The petitioner can make allegations, but will not get a decision in his favor by virtue of allegations only. The petitioner must augment and support those allegations with evidence. It's clear from the record itself that no evidence whatsoever was submitted.
So if someone says, the judge erred in law and fact, yes, when you mention of the word fact, that's grounded to a matter of fact.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But the moment it obligates the court to go into examination of fact and determination of issues of fact, then it becomes a factual question. And that is the interrogation that most of the submission that counsel has made to this court have actually pulled the court into looking at the factual issues. What happened in Social Ward, for instance, the court is being pulled into that, and that cannot be an issue of this court because
about when there is an issue of a mixed issue of facts.
Then the court is obligated to look at facts as long as they help determination of the issue of law. But as long as it solely will push the court into looking at issues of fact, then that cannot be a question to be determined by this court.
Mr. Angela, what would you call expunging of affidavit from the record?
My Lord, it's an issue.
In an election petition,
yes,
the first piece of evidence between the petition and the affidavit.
Yes, sir.
What do you call the expunging of this affidavit?
It's an issue of law.
It is.
Yes. My Lord, and if I may qualify that response, it's an issue of law because of the grounds of that particular expunging. So that, for instance, in this matter, they were expunged because of the rules of affidavits. Rules on affidavits and rules of law on how affidavits are to be made, not the content. They were not expunged because of the content of those particular affidavits.
You expunged because?
Of the rules of swearing affidavits. So that if a deponent exits and withdraws an affidavit, then the annexures thereto have to go with that particular affidavit.
They were not standalone, yes.
Yes.
They were annexed on another affidavit.
Yes. So it was not an issue of what is in those affidavits, but how the affidavits have been brought to court, which is an issue of law.
Okay,
If I may proceed.
those
Yes.
affidavits were expunged for the reason
That they were not standalone. They were brought, the affidavit that was being withdrawn, the supporting affidavit of the second petitioner, had annexed other affidavits. So these other affidavits, which were annexures or exhibits, had then to go if this affidavit were to exit the record. They could not stand on their own because they were grounded on the affidavit of the second petitioner. Yes, who withdrew, yes. So that if they were to remain there, then it would obligate the second petitioner to come and give a basis to them being admitted into everything. If I may proceed, my Lord. The issue of burden of proof, as I was saying, is solely on the petitioner. Now, the petitioner only came as the only witness. The petitioner was based in Laikipia East constituency. Laikipia East constituency, and funny enough, there was no issue raised on that. The issues raised were on Laikipia North and Laikipia West, where the petitioner admitted he didn't go. And everything that he stated was hearsay. So the rules of evidence in that regard were flouted. And in that regard, there was no discharge of the burden of proof by the petitioner.